everybody. Welcome to the Trinity, the Jezebelle Trinity podcast. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. Welcome. It is Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. And I hope everybody's doing good. And be good for joining us. So tonight, the topic came up of confidentiality and what to do when your trust is broken. You feel betrayed. What feelings go along with that? Like, do you feel betrayed? You feel hurt? Does it make you want to close up? Does it make you want to quit? When you feel like you were supposed to be able to trust somebody or something, some program, and to find out that what you shared, your vulnerableness, was shared with other people. So how would you deal with that? How do you cope with things like that? Because I hate to say it, but that's inevitable. It's gonna happen. And I guess the best way to understand is to feel it. Actually, I have three ways to cope with betrayal, breaking confidentiality, and let me see, I got them written down. Okay, so number one is allow yourself to feel it. Feel those feelings. Don't rush past your anger. Don't deny the hurt, the disappointment. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge what you're feeling. Acknowledge the behavior and know that it's not yours. It's not your fault. Naming the wound is part of healing it. Acknowledging the wound is healing it, is how you heal it. Opening that wound, I guess, and that's what makes healing hard. I guess that's part of the work, is recognizing the feelings that we experience when something happens like that. It's something that we're not expecting. Like you go to your counseling session and they tell you all this thing about trusting them and opening up to them and being honest with them. And you tell them, say, hey, I'm thinking about getting high, or hey, or I did get high, and they tell your PO. And then you're going down the rabbit hole of being drug tested, possibly going to jail, possibly going back to prison. So how do you deal with that? Personally, it makes it hard. I myself, I won't share. I don't have anything to hide, I guess, but I don't think I would share my own personal vulnerabilities with somebody I didn't trust. But it's a different scenario when you are forced to meet with people to satisfy obligation. So you go through the motions, and they know that too. The counselors or whatever, they know if you're there to be serious, which it's hard to be serious when you're trying, but you're not perfect. We have these slips, we have these thoughts, and you honestly, in my own experience, I can't say that. Well, I was honest once, and my counselor did tell my PO, and I was very upset because It was just a thought that I was having. And so I was burned, and that made it so I didn't share anything after that again, ever. And so that's why that's why we're starting our own groups. We're finding our own healing outside of these institutional, these systematic um, things that we are supposed to go to. Like you're supposed to satisfy these obligations by checking off these boxes. Well, I got to go do this appointment for my probation. I got to go do this so I can get my kids back. I got to do this, but you can't, and so you do those things and go through the motions, but in order to find authenticity, real people, you might have to look outside of the system. And by us creating our own groups with one another, that we've experienced these same setbacks, these same feelings, these same betrayals, if we can come together, and we're not required to meet. We're doing this out of because we want to, and that makes it a little more meaningful. So yeah, so number one is allow yourself to feel the pain, acknowledge it. And number two, lean on safe support. And that's where I was just coming from, is from like those of us who have experienced the betrayal and know who we can and cannot trust because we've been burned before. So we set up our own groups on our own, outside of the system, outside of the program that we're required to, as kind of like crutches or another support system. So lean on safe support. Turn to the people, mentors, or communities who have earned your trust. Being reminded that not everyone will betray you helps restore your balance. And it's kind of hard, but that's part of the process of going through those feelings of anger and not reacting, and just, letting the anger pass through you, letting that disappointment and hurt pass through you. And it might take a day, it might take 2 days, it might take a week before you can actually stop seeing red and stop hurting. But until you calm down and self-talk and find the people that you can trust, find a mentor, find another community support group that you can, because we all need support. And that's why we do what we do for each other. We are healing together, we are rising together. All right, so number three, reclaim your power. A breach can make you feel exposed or powerless. Take your power back by choosing carefully what, when, and with whom you share moving forward. Your story belongs to you, so you don't have to give it away to anybody who's listening. And being discernment is, wise, using your wisdom, using your intuition on who you can trust, and that hurts. It hurts more when you think you really believe that you can trust somebody and you find out that that you can't. And it's unfortunate that we will go through these experiences with people in our lives. It's expected, it's going to happen. So the best thing to do is prepare yourself, guard yourself. I mean, not by walls, not putting up your walls, but just know when and where and with who to share your story with. And own your truth. That's how you start to own your truth, is when you can express how you're feeling, You know, every time that you do that, it gives you strength. It builds up your courage. It fuels your bravery, and it builds trust, and it builds love. It fuels love. And, you know, betrayal and breaches of confidentiality, that builds our wisdom, that builds our humility. And all these things are just how we experience life, you know, and we're learning how to deal with life on life's terms, and to expect and understand that these things are going to happen, and just to get ready, well, not get ready, but to prepare yourself better, so you're better prepared, so you have a better toolbox. You know, throw out those old tools of reacting and wanting to beat somebody up or choke hold somebody, or, you know, throw those old tools out. You know, when you use your new tools of calming down, controlling your feelings, and controlling yourself, because you can only control yourself. Remember that. You can't control what the other person does. If they want to break your trust, that's on them. You know, stand tall in your own truth, and know that you aren't that person, that you wouldn't break their trust, that you stand in integrity, you know, and you can be that person that you needed. So, yes, lessons. We learned some hard lessons, and, you know, our heart breaks, but it can heal. You know, there was one point in my life that I didn't think I would be able to heal my heart. It was broken, it was in pieces. And I feel grateful tonight to be able to sit here and share my story with you, and hopefully help and connect with you on another level, on a level of recovery. All right, guys. Well, Miigwech for walking with us tonight. I appreciate you, and I wish you well out there. I'm helping, just trying to help, and hopefully give you some new tools for that new toolbox that you're building, and which ones that you want to replace them with. You know, you can't build your new life with old tools. You got to find some new ones, nice shiny ones. Throw out those old rusty ones. They don't work for your new life. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys' time, and thank you for coming with me tonight, walking with me. I see you, I support you, and reach out if you ever if you ever want to talk to me. You know, you can drop a message in a comment. I'll respond, or look me up on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. But yeah, so, you know, I want to be that person for people that I needed when I felt like I didn't have anybody, and my heart was in pieces, and I didn't think I'd ever heal. You know, you can find hope. You can find what you need out there. And we are the ones we've been waiting for. Yes, we are rising together. Unity, oneness. But all right, you guys have a good night. Have a good Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Think about a topic for tomorrow. Anybody has any ideas, drop them down in the comments. Let's hear some feedback on what you'd like us to share our experiences with, or, you know, some tips. But all right, guys, I love you all. Peace, love, 100% respect out there, and be good for walking with us. And I love all of you. You guys have a good night. See you tomorrow on the 24th, Wednesday. Okay, so let's see. Gigawatt woman. That means See you later. And Ojibwe, we don't say goodbye. All right. You're welcome.